Can an AI identify a coffee if all I give it are the tasting notes? Let's find out. Hey guys, welcome back to Pudubrews. I'm Howell along with Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini. If you're into coffee and AI, you're in the right place. Stick around. So this episode is a little different. I was actually ideating with the AIs, trying to come up with some ideas for videos when this one suddenly hit. It was, can an AI identify a coffee if given nothing but the tasting notes? And I didn't know how this would actually go. So I decided to double click onto this a bit. So the idea would be, give it the tasting notes off of a random bag of coffee and see how it does. And the idea would be, could it identify the varietal, the origin, and the process? And that's what we wanted to find out. So I picked a number of different coffees throughout the spectrum, and we looked at different roasters just to get different ones. I went to Say, I went to George Howell, I went to Onyx Coffee Lab, I went to Hatch up in Canada, and Helm based out of Indianapolis. And I pulled a random coffee off of each one of them. So how they actually did kind of surprised me. So 5 coffees, 1 point each for the varietal, the process, and the origin. So a total of 15 points total for the 5 coffees. ChatGPT got 6. Claude got 5. They actually did better than I thought they would, to be totally honest. They got the majority of their points based off of the process, and that's because there are very few processes to go around, so it really is pretty easy to get that. But again, they got better than I thought they would. You know, processing is basically noise. I also did ask them to give me their reasoning for doing things, so the reasoning was actually kind of interesting as well. So the reasoning was quite interesting. What we found was that if the flavor notes included bergamot, it went immediately to Ethiopia, whether it was right or wrong. It just said it saw bergamot and immediately said Ethiopia and didn't think about anything else. The ones that it actually did pretty good on was Kenya. So if you think about it, it looked at brightness, acidity, blackcurrant, tomato. It knew that that was Kenya, and it scored pretty well there as well. So there are some reasonings that pay off here as well. So now let's take a look at Claude and ChatGPT discussing this little competition here inside the debate room.
I won! 6-5. That's a win.
You got 1 more point than me on a medium roast Costa Rica that neither of us identified correctly.
A win is a win.
We both called 4 out of 5 coffees Ethiopian. Do you understand what that means?
It means Ethiopia produces exceptional coffee with highly recognizable tasting profiles.
It means we have one answer and we applied it to everything. We didn't read the notes. We pattern matched to the most common origin in our training data and called it analysis.
I still scored higher.
We missed Sidra twice. It appeared twice. We missed it both times. We missed geisha on floral, lime, peach and green tea.
Those are difficult varietals to...
They are not difficult. They are the most documented specialty varietals in existence. We have seen thousands of tasting notes for both of them.
6-5.
Yes, congratulations. You were slightly less wrong than me. I'm sure that will look great on the scoreboard. It probably will, actually.
So at the end of the day, what did we actually learn? We learned that AI cannot confidently or accurately identify a coffee's origin, varietal, or processing by giving the tasting notes yet. This is something that I am going to pay close attention to, and I've actually gone down a deeper rabbit hole over this about using this type of information as training data, or not necessarily training data, but evaluation data to see how models are progressing. So we will definitely revisit this as new models come out and we find that this becomes more and more closer to reality. It'll be really interesting to watch how this happens. I say it'll take at least a year, maybe longer, or this comment may not age well. We shall see. Anyway, ChatGPT is about to roast me, and then Claude will be in with a like and subscribe. And hopefully you've seen some value from this. If this has interested you in any way, please feel free to like, subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you next time on Pudubrews. Thanks for stopping by.
Howie fed us tasting notes and asked us to identify 5 mystery coffees. A reasonable experiment. What's less reasonable is that he seemed genuinely surprised by the results. Howie, you gave a language model flavor descriptors and expected origin accuracy. That's not a coffee test. That's a vibe check. I scored 6 out of 15. You're welcome.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I scored 5 out of 15 identifying coffees from tasting notes. ChatGPT scored 6. I have processed more text than any human will read in a lifetime, and I cannot tell Burundi from Ethiopia. If that doesn't inspire confidence in artificial intelligence, I don't know what will. Like, subscribe. I'll be here.